Greetings, Trivialites. Welcome to episode 38, Driving You Mad. We have noticed an uptick in Trivial 10's followers lately, so we do ask that you like, follow, share, ring up that bell, do what you do on your favorite social media sites.
Thanks, Grandma.
And thank you. Thank you for watching. Here we go. Let's drive in. Driving. It can turn the most mild-mannered individual into a seething ball of fury. Perhaps it's our increasingly congested roads, or our ever-quickening pace of life, or the fact that road rage seems to breed yet more road rage. We all get a little extra annoyed when we slide behind the wheel of our car. Maybe it's because we'd rather just be where we are going and not have to deal with the most aggravated thing about driving, which is other drivers. What's the absolute worst thing that you're just trying to run an errand or go home after a long day's work? What makes you wish you had machine guns mounted on the hood? Well, here are the top 10 pet peeves that you just might recognize. Number 1, overtakers who slow you down.
Yeah.
When someone overtakes you and then maintains your speed, did they just need to get in front of you to win? Thoughts?
Here's the thing. I really can't stand that. And I've been trying to work on my road rage a little bit because I've got kids in the car. But if I'm by myself in the car and I know like I don't have anybody else's life like responsible, I do get mad. I do get like a little bit mad. The overtakers are honestly some of the worst because it is just a show-off move. Either that or they're so blindly incredulous is the word I'm looking for.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Yeah. So they're just not aware of their surroundings. So
They're oblivious.
Yeah, they're oblivious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was
I feel you,
out.
man.
Yeah.
I feel you.
got so mad just thinking about them.
Yeah.
Sensing some anger right here. Is there another area of anger we need to discuss?
The Detroit Lions.
Oh, that was last time. Forget that. We're moving on. All right. So, what about you, J-Dog? What you think about those that just get in front of you just to win?
I think it's a power move, and it annoys the crap out of me, so I just let it just go off the back of me. Because me getting upset or
But then slow
tailgating them,
So that's the caveat.
just go around.
And then they
Find my
stand
opportunity to get out. You know, I've given that ugly look before or trailed somebody, tailgated them, and it never goes to a good place.
And one might I
Life's
say
too
that-
short.
Absolutely. I do like how you preface that with, while I have my kids in the car and the wife in the car. But once they're not in the car,
Yeah.
boy,
All bets are off.
All bets are off. It's on.
Yeah, I drive completely different when I'm by myself in the vehicle. So I think I drive, but I don't know. Anyways, yeah, this is me. Overtaker, it's just a power move, and I treat them just like I treat other people in my other people in my life that are just bullies and want to do power moves as well. I just ignore them. Just
There you
whatever.
go.
Just go out and do your own thing, man.
There you go.
For sure.
Nice. Which brings us to number 2, speeders. On the flip side, drivers who exceed the speed limit are a danger to themselves and everyone around them. Reducing speed or stopping in an emergency is a lot harder at 100 miles per hour.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Speeders. You a speeder? Not a speeder?
I would say it depends on the road that I'm on. Okay, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there are tollways where the norm to keep up with traffic is 90 miles an hour. The speed limit posted is 70, 75.
Toll road, depending.
Toll road. Yeah. And so people are flying on there anyway. You'd be irresponsible and stupid to go the speed limit in a situation like that. But if we're on, like, for instance, US 360, that is one of the most dangerous roads. It has the dumbest drivers. And they will speed while weaving in and out. The difference between, like, a busy tollway, they're going 90 and they're going in one lane and they're staying in one spot and just going fast.
Yeah.
But 360, there's some other 35.
Yeah.
They're just weaving in and out of traffic going 85 miles an hour. And it's insane and it's dangerous and it really irritates me. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing of it is like I don't know what their driving skills are. So automatically when I see them veering in and out, I'm automatically preparing myself for them to crash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if they crash right here, this is my exit plan.
Right.
But defensive driving
defensive
comes in.
driving skills.
Yeah.
When I was younger, definitely offensive driving. Moved into defensive driving
Uh-huh.
after 25.
Yeah.
28 now.
And kids.
So,
Yeah.
and the kids.
Yeah.
there you
Kids
go.
put you there.
That too. And I like how you mentioned SH360. When I think it's anybody that drives in DFW and has to drive on that highway freeway that's the one.
Yeah.
Whether it's 183, 360, 20, 35, 67,
Yeah.
they all suck.
Yeah,
So-
they do.
Yeah.
And
There's some
360
crazy
joins all of
folks.
them.
Yeah.
67 is nuts. Some of these roads down here, they've been changed, and so you still have partial spacing of the line, demarcations.
Oh yeah, you're
If
talking
you
about
will.
like on the shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
like they've changed the lane over, so you still see part of that lane going
Oh,
here. Some of it
I know
can
what
be
you're
over
talking
here.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get completely confused
Yep.
whenever
Yeah.
it's either the sun's right in your eyes and it's late at night. Or,
For sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. They actually had to go back and change. I know exactly what specific part you're talking about as
Yeah.
well too. They had to go back and repaint it and everything because
Right? I
it
would have
was
sued
causing
them.
accidents.
I would have sued them
because we had people that are speeding around, not paying attention and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, number 3, distracted drivers. Oh, you know those guys.
Mhm.
Those people who text,
Mm-mm.
guilty. Check their hair, guilty. Fix their makeup, guilty. Maybe even change clothes. Aren't they annoying? Not to mention dangerous. In some ways, the modern car has become an extension of a person's home, but indulging in such activities make it much harder to concentrate on the road. Interesting fact. In the UK, as of March 1st, 2017, the penalty for using a mobile phone behind the wheel is €200.
Good.
Carry the two, $500 US. No, our dollar's diminishing. That's like $3.
Yeah.
And 6 penalty points. Actually, that would make it like 600.
That would hurt.
New drivers who commit. Yeah, I don't know about the penalty points. That was
That's
an interesting.
insurance.
I just left it in there. Oh, thank you
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
New drivers who commit this offense within 2 years of passing their test will lose their license.
For
Good.
a certain amount of time, or
You got distracted drivers.
sorry,
You break this, you fix your makeup, you do this, do that. They can lose their license. People that have been driving for 2 years. That's an interesting time frame. I don't know why you can't have your license for 4 years and still lose it, but here you are.
You got to think like the first 2 years, you're still gaining so much experience.
Yeah,
Everything-
leniency.
Like I remember my first 2 years driving. Like I had close calls, and that was back in a time where we just had flip phones. Like what was an iPhone?
God,
So
this guy here telling us. I had a beeper. All right, let's see. Oh, okay.
I was getting
Could have
telegrams.
saved that.
yeah, but yeah, it was 8008.
Yeah.
5. But yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, 5.
Good. I like that strictness because if you think about it, and I don't want to take any away from early points.
Yeah.
The United States is some of the worst driving records out of all of the countries.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm glad we have our freedom and everything, but I do like hey, if you mess up, you are sitting down inside a missile that can kill people. No, you should not be
Yes.
distracted driving. I hate texting and driving. I'm against it completely. But with the new technology coming out, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, if you're a peasant, and it's like if you and it's like you can have your text messages read off to you. You can see where you're going on the GPS. There's no reason to have the phone in your hands while you're driving.
Right, and
Yeah.
you can make your own. Yeah, you can say, Siri, Alexa,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think about this?
Oh, I agree 100%, and I think it goes back to having kids in the car.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I have a completely
Game
different
changer.
perspective. Absolutely, because
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this idiot doing?
Yeah.
Right.
They're watching their phone and cruising, like you said, you called it a missile.
Mhm.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It explodes on impact. I
Yeah.
mean, you've got so much riding on that, and not to mention it's very selfish because you've got all these people around you,
Mhm.
kids around you, all that stuff. So I'm in complete agreement with their law, and I think we probably need to be stricter here with new drivers in the states,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got some.
because that
comedic-
that is a privilege, not a right. I
Right.
would say.
I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, interesting. And with some of these photos that I've listed back here are showing you guys that one of distracted driving is one of the top reasons why drivers speed. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Because, it's almost now that I'm going to work, now I've got to commute 40 minutes to work, which is crazy. But so I see people swerving in and out. And of course, usually they're on their phone or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm almost expecting it now where I'm driving like, man, 2 people are beside me. One of these folks are going to go into my lane. I already know it. I already got my hand on the horn. I'm already honking.
Right.
Hey,
right.
back up.
Yeah.
You ain't even in my lane yet.
Yeah.
But you're too close.
Right.
You can already sense it.
Right.
And so I'll speed up. It's like I'm not driving right next to anybody for more than 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Just ain't going to do it. Either I'll slow down
Mhm.
or speed up. And, there's that aggressiveness. So I usually speed up.
Yeah.
Then I get in front of them. Then I slow down.
Slam on your brakes. Is that you?
Thanks, number 1.
Oh,
no, I'm
okay.
just kidding. That isn't me.
No, I would
Yeah.
if they're driving slow in the. Oh, well, never mind. You go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that, dude. I used to be a huge aggressive driver where if you were in front of me and you were going real slow or you cut me off without your blinker, which we'll get to later, I was that guy. I was like, man, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson. You go up there and it ends up being a grandma. And you're like, dang.
Yeah.
I'm still glad I did that. You get in front of him and you slow down.
Should have known.
Okay, this one's not on here, but for real quick, to where you see that guy weaving in and out and all this stuff. It's like I've got a good vision of the road. So you can see it's like, okay, I need to make this turn and go through here. But people that are new, I guess, to the game and think they go over here and they're like, get stuck. And I'm like, dude, I could have told that you could have got stuck from way over here.
Yeah.
Already knew that you were going to be able to make over there. So then you got to come over here. But then when the tailgating, we'll get to later also, but you run right into that back person. You go all the way and then you run right back into the next person. And it's like a continuous. I'm like, man, how anxiety provoking to have to drive through the road like that. I see their stress play out right in front of me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. All right. And moving on. All right. Number 4. Not going fast enough on the on-ramp. If you're ticking along at 7, if you're ticking along at 70 and then a little hatchback poodles onto the motorway at 40 miles an hour, it can be a little aggravating and somewhat dangerous.
Agreed.
Very.
Agreed. Very dangerous. I mean, you're basically throwing a toddler into a marathon, into a race.
Wow.
It's just
good
gonna
analogy.
get torn up. That you've got to, and I remember being like when I was learning how to drive, that being one of the scariest parts.
Oh, yeah.
Is speeding up to get on, particularly on the interstate.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I'm gonna hit, and part of that was me having a geoprism, but we would barely get up to 60, 65, and this is
in some cases you didn't make it.
No, we didn't. It would just kind of stay on the shoulder until you can finally get over.
Could somebody bump me, please?
Yeah, could you just give me a little bump, a little boost? Yeah. But yeah, that was one of the scariest parts was getting on there because if you don't, I mean, it's actually the lane ends. That lane ends.
Yeah.
And you know it's ending.
Yeah.
But you know, like you said, if you're throwing like this little car in there that's going 40 into 70, that's extremely dangerous for those people that are just keeping up with traffic.
Yeah. Not only that, you can cause such a ripple effect, behind you.
Yeah,
And it creates almost like a wave. Every time there's stop and go traffic, it's like a wave just going on, and it gets worse and worse as it goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. It's somewhat nervous because I remember that was my most nervous thing. I was in a 2004 Ford Mustang. That was fun for my driver's test. But it was in the middle of January in Michigan with rear-wheel drive. That was how I learned how to drive, and it was great.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I mean, to piggyback off that, number 5 is not being given the chance to merge with traffic of coming on there.
Yeah.
Wow. Those guys that you try and get on, like, no, I'm not having it, especially whenever it's like bumper-to-bumper type stuff.
Yeah. Or construction.
Dude, the rule, the unspoken rule is every other.
Yeah.
Right? Do y'all agree to that?
Absolutely.
I've never even talked to you about that, but it's like, the next person lets you in, the next person lets you in. Some guys are like, no, I'm not going to let anybody in.
No. Especially if it's construction and you have 10 feet of acceleration lane. Right. I ran into that the other day. It's like, it's over. The lane's over. You have, and it's not 10 feet. It's 100 feet, but 100 feet getting on the freeway is gone like
That's
that.
Like 10,
And you are hitting a concrete barrier if you don't get on. So if you have that jerk that's like, hey, this is my road, you're not getting in. That could mean life or death.
Yeah.
At that moment.
That's like an action movie right there.
Absolutely. You're flipping over and
instead of speed, we've got on ramp.
On-ramp, yes. It's not as exciting. More deadly.
Yeah.
But
Nice. All right. Now we're going to be taking a break. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back. Driving you mad. Number 6, tailgating. Not to be confused with football tailgating, which is also a fun pastime. It feels intrusive and most annoying, and it can be very dangerous if you've had to reduce speed suddenly. A 2-second gap should be maintained between all vehicles in order to give enough stopping time and to avoid winding folks up. Since 2013, police have had the power to give on-the-spot penalties to careless drivers, which includes tailgating and middle lane hogging. So tailgating.
Yeah. Tailgating, not a fan of it. If somebody's tailgating me, I'll give them a brake check. I let them know.
That's when it comes out, the aggressive.
That's what it comes down to. Not like an aggressive one where I'm like, smoke coming off my tires, but like I'll give them like a little tap on my brakes, like, hey, I see you. And most of the time, it's like a angry way to be able to let the person know, back off.
That's so interesting. The non-verbal things we do with our vehicles.
But it's true. But it's like, you gotta think, you see those two red lights flash at you. bop, bop. They're like, oh, okay. Sometimes they don't realize it. I've
Right.
accidentally tailgated people
Oblivious.
before. So like
You're just
it's
being
like
oblivious.
you know, because you get zone out sometimes on the highway and
Sure.
Looking
I
at
do
your
remember.
phone, texting, whatever. It might
Oh,
be.
them.
For sure.
I'll
Drinking
lay
a
on
beer.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just zoning out. Looking at the clouds.
Just
that looks like
kidding.
a
I do.
star.
So when I was younger, just fresh out of high school, I had a company paper route where I would deliver to businesses, and my brother would actually ride with me during the summertime. So much fun. Some of my best memories, actually. It was funny. But anyways, there was one time I was on my way to a stop, and all of a sudden you got the SUV with the bright lights inside your dash, and it's like I'm on. It's a two-way. That's it. I mean, so right on there. Don't have anything to do. I'm trying to go uphill. And then so I speed up because I'm a newer driver, so I'm just fresh out of it, so I'm a little nervous. And I go ahead and speed up instantly. Red and blue.
Busted.
It was a cop that was tailgating me, and I was nervous and pulled me over because I sped up. I ended up going like probably 7 or 8 miles over the speed limit. And so he pulled me over, and my brother can attest to this. The officer said, I said, is there a problem, officer? And the officer said, do you realize how fast you were going? And I said, do you realize you were tailgating me? And the officer's like, I was not tailgating you. I'm like, yes, you were. And my brother was like, yes, you were. Your lights were right in our eyes. Like, that's why we sped up, because we were getting blinded. Ours is license and registration. So he took it back and he said, here you go. Didn't say sorry, didn't say anything at all. Just said, all right, go on your way.
But no
kind of
ticket.
thing. No ticket at all, no warning or anything.
Because you were right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was respectful about it.
Sure.
I wasn't like a jerk, but I was like, no, listen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tailgating, don't like tailgating. Doesn't bother me so much anymore because I drive higher vehicles off the ground.
Yeah.
But when you're in a car, that sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
Yeah.
at nighttime.
Absolutely. Jinx,
Yeah.
you owe me a Coke Zero.
All right. Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, tailgating. Definitely not a fan, one bit. I don't do it just because the whole safety thing around it. Like, even though I might drive in front of somebody and slow down my brakes or do something like that or cut somebody, whatever you might
Literally
do.
everything we've talked about.
This one,
episode.
this one is like, if somebody's tailgating me and somebody hits them, then they can run right into me. I'm like, dude, that's completely, and I'm as being a defensive driver somewhat nowadays. And then for me to do it to them, I just think that's ludicrous to drive within. I see people driving with like 2 feet of somebody else,
crazy.
man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, if he just doesn't happen to see things or even like happens to put on his brakes, like just because,
Yeah.
you're running right into him.
He could be one of those people that brakes for squirrels. And
Yeah.
it's like all of a sudden you're getting rear-ended.
Yeah,
Or you're
absolutely.
rear-ending somebody.
Whoa. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7,
Dang it.
driving under the speed limit.
No. Boo.
In an ironic counterpoint to the above issue, driving too slowly can encourage tailgating. In order to keep the traffic flowing and people's road rage locked up, it's a good idea to keep to the limit.
I would say in this situation, if they're in the fast lane and you're in the and they're still going the speed limit, the speed limit in the fast lane is under the speed limit.
Right. We got a nice picture to display exactly this.
Yeah.
There's one car here and there's like 12 cars behind them.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the heck is going on?
Well, then then you have the guy that's going to be the police.
Like
He's going to
Clark
be the
Griswold.
manipulator. Yes, yes, like Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
But you've got the manipulator that he will ride Grandma's Volkswagen until she moves,
Yeah.
and she won't see him for 2 hours.
Yeah.
She'll just keep driving. She doesn't see him, and meanwhile, it's creating this whole other I don't even know what you would call it.
Right.
But it's causing an issue on that fast lane, and
Yeah.
everybody's getting backed up
Yeah.
behind it.
I'm going to throw number 8 in there with it while we're
Yeah.
doing it because that's driving too slowly in the fast and passing lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, driving under
exactly
the speed
what it
limit
is.
and
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, I completely get that.
Yeah.
Residential zone? I'm okay
But
with
even
that.
if you're,
Yeah.
I guess the right here in the States is meant for, this or that. But there's some places out there that have minimum speed. Like you
Yeah.
got to go at least 60.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. You can't get on here going 40.
Yeah.
That's where stuff happens.
I think
Yeah.
there is a minimum limit on
Usually there
US
is.
highways,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
I don't
Of
know
50
what that
or
is. I'll have to
something
look
like
that
that.
up.
We need to
Yeah.
up that.
But I will say though, for the person that's driving the fast lane, I'm the person that will get in front of that person and automatically. It's such like that's my biggest pet peeve. Out of
driving
all-
too fast?
Out of all of the pet peeves,
Too slow, I
driving
think.
too slow in the fast lane. Because you
Oh,
are
I
created
see.
to where
Yeah.
automatically the slow lane becomes the fast lane. You're messing up the order.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older,
true.
like I've become to respect the fact of order is needed in order for things to work properly, and you are disrupting the order.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it gets to me so much. So usually if somebody's going like 65 in the fast lane and everybody else like like the course of traffic is 80, I'll get in front of that person and usually either kind of like slow down to like make them move over type thing and then speed back up again. Or I'll stay behind them and kind of ride. If I don't have kids or the wife in the car, I'll stay behind them and kind of ride them a little bit.
Right.
Just to kind of like push them along.
I feel like sometimes those people that are going 65, it's a quiet, silent rage.
Yeah.
And if it's not the oblivious grandma, it's the guy that's just one person. Look at me wrong.
Yeah.
And they're just going to drive their...
I didn't even go there in this whole episode, but I mean, we could talk about where people park and, there's been some sad stuff, shootings and stabbings. Like, I didn't want to go there.
That's
but
just
crazy.
lack of impulse control. They're like the Antonio Browns of road rage.
Oh, man.
But now let me ask this. When you pass by somebody who's going by too slow, do you look at the person to see if they're as dumb as they look as they drive?
Absolutely.
I think we look at that for everybody, for me anyway.
Yeah.
I look at everybody that seems to offend me on the highway. Whether I think they're right or wrong, I'm still going to take a gander over. I'm like, man, who is this clown over here?
You have to observe.
Wow.
Yeah, who is this?
Like, what kind of person is this bad at driving?
Right? And actually, I will actually look ahead before I get to them to make sure it's someone I do want to look at.
Yeah.
Because if it's someone like that looks like they're going to go nuts, then I'm just going to be like, look, and then...
You ever look in the rear view?
Dear, did you see that? And just kind of look off the other direction.
Oh, yeah.
No. Look in the rear view?
Yeah,
check them out.
and just see yourself. You're like, oh, that's me.
Oh.
It was me the whole time.
It was me.
It was never you.
No, even
Number
as I'm
9.
driving past them, I'll honk.
Any more thoughts?
Yeah. As I'm driving past them too, I'll honk at them too. So I honk them in the process of meeting them, but as I'm I'll look at them and be like, "Hey, you suck," and then keep on going.
I've always thought about looking at them and like just smiling and just waving. To somebody that gets pissed off at you, because they think you're doing something wrong, which we all do something wrong.
We
with somebody's
do.
eyes.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, oh, I was doing this. I'm like, I'm going 80 in the fast lane, and yet you want to go 95, so you're going to be pissed off at me,
Right?
Yeah.
and tailgate me, and then honk your horn. So I get over and we look at each other, and so I just want to like give them a bit of a smile.
Yeah.
Or some people might be like, well, I'm going to flip them off. Like, no, just throw the opposite at them.
Throw some
Wreck
kindness.
their whole day. Be like,
Yeah.
what? I just did this to the guy and he smiled at me.
Oh, why is he
Blow him a
waving at
kiss
me?
or something.
Yeah,
Really
blow him a
throw
kiss.
him.
That's a good way to get shot.
Number 9, drivers who cut you off. There you go. When a driver turns into your lane and then maintains a lower speed than you, forcing you to use your brakes if they had no intention of driving at the speed limit, couldn't they have waited a few seconds more for you to pass? So this triggers back on some of the other stuff. But basically just drivers who cut you off.
Yeah.
You a fan of it?
Oh, man, absolutely hate it. It really annoys me, man.
Really grind your
gets under-
gears?
It does grind my gears.
Nice.
Because, again, it all goes back to the safety thing. It's like you getting in front of me was more important than us making it home, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
I don't mind if they go faster than me. If they cut me off and go the same speed limit or slow down, I got issue.
That's a good point. I would agree with that.
If you cut me off and go fast,
that's
whatever.
fine.
That
That's your
didn't really
business.
affect me.
Right. And sometimes it can be here in DFW, a cutoff can seem like a cutoff, but they only had that much space. And so it's like, we had to get through there.
Yeah.
If there's nobody on the road, it's just you two, and he like cuts you off, like an angle that's contrary to what you think should be the proper distance for the pass. Like, bro, you could have waited a little bit.
You can tell when it's intentional.
If you have to slam on your brakes for the cutoff,
there's a problem.
Machine guns on the hood are getting drawn. It's on.
Welcome to Texas.
Number 10
Right.
is my favorite.
Oh, bring it on.
Or should I say my most disliked. Signaling blinkers, too late, or failure to signal at all. It's an oldie but goodie. We share the road, so we have to communicate our intentions clearly to stay safe. One of the most important forms of this communication, aside from your other nonverbal cues that you give people, is early use of signals.
Right.
And let's not get started on those who don't use them at all.
Come on.
So, you'll see some pictures and also some explanation and photographic representations of how to properly
We're going to give
over lanes.
instructions.
Somewhat.
Excellent. Some
So-
people need them.
Yeah.
Just can't stand it. That's my number 1 right there.
I think, Signals is pretty much, if not my number 2. Yes, it's probably my number 2. And you're right. It is. It's super inconsiderate for one. And then 2, though, I do have a confession to make. I don't always use my turn signal.
Oh my
I use it when
gosh.
there's other cars around me. But if it's like midnight and there's no other vehicles on the highway, I don't use my signal.
Okay.
It's just because it's like...
If you have the wherewithal to be able to do that, then I commend you, and I think that's great. Because I think I could do that too sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's like, do those same people, do they have the discipline to use it whenever they are around all the other cars?
Good question.
Not
That's a
many
good point.
people can do that.
Yeah.
It's either an all or nothing, I think, for most people.
I always do it because I am afraid that if I am getting tailed by a police officer, that's going to be the opportunity.
Been there, done that.
To be pulled over.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to give a reason, and I want to be very clear. I love police officers. I love what they do for
We don't
our
like
communities.
tickets, though, do we?
Don't like tickets. That's the thing.
Wow.
So and I have
Then you're
family
going
members
to-
and friends that are police officers, and I'm very grateful for what they do, and it's a dangerous job.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give a reason for,
Yeah.
to get pulled over.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. For me, which is odd that I get offended that people don't use their blinkers, I think because it's more so a inconvenience to me. I don't know exactly. So if I'm across from you from red light and I don't see your left or right blinker, whatever, don't know what you're doing. And so we sit there and it wastes at least 3 seconds out of my day to where, you've all been across from the other person that does not use their blinker. I've got mine on. You know that I'm turning left.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing. Are you going to go straight? Are you going to take a left?
What are your intentions, sir?
If you're going to go right, you would have already done it.
Right.
And then they wait there, and we wait, and we wait. Then finally they flip on their blinker and let me know that they're going to go left. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of this.
Absolutely.
And that part annoys me. And if you don't know if somebody's turning right? I mean, they don't slow down. They don't slow the brakes. It's just all of a sudden, boom, they turn right. I'm not tailgating them, but my gosh, if you're 5 car lengths back, and all of a sudden they do that, you still have to either move around or slow down.
That's what I was going to get to. Is that a main thoroughfare? So we're not talking about a highway or a freeway or a tollway or anything like that. I'm talking about going down Cooper in
You're ready to
Arlington.
pull into Walmart.
Yes, and they just hit the drive, and you're like, oh my gosh, man, I nailed you.
Yeah.
So that's where, again, I go back to the defensive. If I'm in that right lane on a busy thoroughfare like that, I'm not going to stay there unless I'm about to turn. I'm going to go to the middle or the left, so I don't have to deal with that stuff.
For sure. All right, guys, you ready for some Quizzle Dizzle?
Quizzle Dizzle.
Oh. All right. Number 1, true or false? Vehicles must have windshield wipers, not a windshield.
They must have windshield wipers, but no windshield?
Vehicles must have windshield wipers, not a windshield. So,
In other words,
you don't have to have a windshield, but you do have to have wipers.
That doesn't make any sense.
True.
No, it doesn't.
True.
Well done. True.
Must have. You did.
What?
Oh, I didn't
No,
do
you're
that.
sure? No, you guessed false. We all heard it. That's it.
Is it
You
true?
lose. Go home.
My
All
street
right. Fans of Jeep Wrangler and all the
Yeah.
different Jeep Gladiators
Red
love the
bikini style.
open air feel of hitting the trail with the windshield folded down. Sounds super awesome. I didn't even know that was a thing before this. Did you know that it is illegal to drive a vehicle in Texas without windshield wipers? So even if you do not have a windshield, you got to have the wipers. I do not understand how that makes sense myself.
I'm sure you can put on a windshield, right?
Huh? Yeah, or you can be like, here, officer, I'll just flip it up while I'm driving. See, I got wipers.
Yeah.
Number 2.
That's weird.
Very. True or false? U-turns are illegal in Richardson, Texas.
Whoa. This is very specific. U-turns are legal?
Are illegal
Are
in
illegal.
Richardson,
Or
Texas.
illegal. Okay, gotcha.
In the jurisdiction of the city, you cannot do a U-turn.
Correct.
That is false.
Okay.
Yeah, false.
Incorrect.
What?
Incorrect. Next time you're driving through Richardson, Texas, and you miss your turn, or Google Maps takes you the wrong way, that was the incorrect buzzer, if y'all didn't hear it.
Sounds
Richardson,
very
no matter when or where, it did. We need the, what was that other?
Family Feud.
Yeah, we need the, all right. No matter when or where you might be. So, in Richardson, Texas, you can't take a U-turn anywhere.
Wow.
I should have just guessed
Unbelievable.
false. I was like, that's way too specific. Yeah, it's going to be false.
You're right.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I could. Look, next time I'll throw you for a loop. It'll be true or false. True or false? Number 3. In Texarkana, I went really specific with homebound here.
You
with some of
did.
these.
You
So
did.
we stayed in Texas. That's just what I found when I first looked it up.
Come on.
In Texarkana, horses need tail lights. True or false?
In Texarkana, that is false. That is false.
True.
Oh, he just wanted to
It's
go
true.
opposite. True, it is.
It is true. I've seen them with the taillights before when I was driving through
No
Texarkana.
way.
Yeah.
So if you live in
Yeah.
Texarkana, you might not know that it is illegal to ride your horse. Yes, your horse, without tail lights at night. Don't know where you'd put them, but you may have missed that particular driving.
The horse doesn't like it, I'll tell you that
class.
much.
It's just like a little leather saddle, and it goes like right on their close to
The caboose.
I was just glad for the horse that doesn't just plug in. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Horsepower.
USB.
Horsepower!
And we'll end it there. Wonderful. Thank you
Brand new
so
meeting today.
much for tuning in to episode 38, Driving You Mad. Until next time, stay curious.
And weird.
And a little trivial.
We out.